Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Property and Real Estate Course Information Day. My name is Amita Jain, and I'm the course director of undergraduate property programs at Deakin University. I'm thrilled to have you with us explore the different property and real estate programs that are available at our university. We'll also be hosting a live question and answer session after this information session to answer any other questions that you may have. So please start writing your questions in the question box, and we will be responding to those after this information session. I'd like to start with an acknowledgement to the country. As we gather for this meeting, physically dispersed and virtually constructed, let us take a moment to reflect on the meaning of the place, and in doing so, to recognize the various traditional lands on which we do our business today. Deakin would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which our university campuses are based. We also acknowledge our elders, past, present, and emerging, of all the land we work and live on, and their ancestral spirits with gratitude and respect. Why choose Deakin? It's in the top 1% of universities worldwide in the ARWU rankings in 2021. It's the #1 university for student satisfaction in Victoria for the 12th consecutive years. Victoria is #1 in university for teaching quality, and the very important factor why Deakin should be chosen is the Deakin Business School is ranked in the top 1% of business schools globally, holding both the AACSP and the EQUIS accreditation. Both these accreditations, the AACSP and EQUIS, are highly reputed accreditations from very highly reputed schools in America and Europe, respectively. This means if a university has, or if a business school has AACSP and EQUIS accreditation, this means that there is surety that business schools meet the highest standards of excellence in teaching, research, curriculum, and institutional development. This is the overview of my presentation today. We'll be talking about the courses that we have in property and real estate. Now, the Bachelor's of Property and Real Estate is Victoria's only 3-year undergraduate property and real estate degree. It is offered at Deakin's Melbourne Burwood campus and as well in the online mode. This degree is accredited by the Australian Property Institute, which is the premier property body in Australia, as well as the premier UK-based body, which is the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors. This is the suite of programs that we offer at our universities in property and real estate. First is a straight single degree, the M348, which is the Bachelor's of Property and Real Estate. If a student is studying full-time, it is a 3-year full-time degree, and part-time options are available as well. The ATAR requirement for all the courses that we offer in real estate are provided on this slide. Our next very popular degree is the Bachelor's of Property and Real Estate, along with the Bachelor's of Commerce. So together, if you were to do this dual degree, it can be completed in 4 years full-time. If these two degrees are done separately, then it is a 6-year course. So Bachelor's of Property and Real Estate, three years, and Bachelor's of Commerce is a 3 years course in itself. So putting together, you get synergies, and you're able to complete the dual degree, which is a very strong degree in 4 years full-time study. With laws, it's a 5-year full-time study, and part-time options are available as well. And our latest and the newest degree is the D336, which is with construction management. This is a very it's a new degree, but it's coming up in a big way. It's becoming very popular because it it's a very good combination to have the construction management as well as the property and real estate together. You can finish the degree in 5 years full-time study. One note here is that there are 2 years where you're required to be at a Geelong or the waterfront campus because of lab and practical work. The core areas of focus in this bachelor's of property and real estate, if you do a single degree or you do the combined degrees, these are the different areas where we will focus on. We've got units around property development, property valuation, investment, economics, property law, sustainable construction, and property market analysis in context of the broader property and real estate discipline. Also note that along with these property units, you will also have 4 supporting units in business law, accounting, finance, and economics. It adds a lot of strength to our degree when our students come out with property focused areas along with these 4 very important business areas as well. This is a very important slide which shows the highest level of accreditation that our degrees have got from the Australian Property Institute as well as the RICS, which is the UK headquartered based organization. So what this means is that our courses have been designed in very close consultation with employers and industry bodies, and it ensures that the graduate meets the academic requirements for membership as certified practicing valuer with the Australian Property Institute. So what we have to do on a regular basis, on an annual basis, is we have to provide an annual report to these organizations to ensure that our programs are in line with what they expect and what they want. And every 5 years, they look at look at our programs, our exams, our assignments. They talk to our students, they talk to our staff to ensure that our programs are providing what the market needs. So the idea is when the students graduate, after they should have the skills which are required by the market. The graduates should be getting the skills which are needed. They should be job ready, in other words. We have very strong industry links. Our courses have been designed in close consultation with employers and industry body. We've got a property and real estate advisory board. We meet twice in a year, and the advisory board looks at all the units that we teach. They look at our assignments and they advise us on the course structure and the structure of the topics that we study in each of the weeks. So just to give an example, we have a few minors in our units, in our degree. And a few years ago, the advisory board looked at the market and they said that marketing and management minors are not adding a lot of value. What we need is finance and financial planning minors and economics. So we've, in line with the advice provided by the industry, we continuously modify our units so that we are ensured that when our students step out of the university, they are job ready and they're easily able to make a transition into the workforce from the university. So students benefit from very close links to the property industry that we as staff have and are kept abreast of the latest changes affecting all facets of the property market. This is the course map for Bachelors of Property and Real Estate, the single degree. The course map for double degrees would look different, but I'm going to take you through the course map for the single degree, which is our most popular degree. This is a 3-year full-time degree. When you join in trimester 1, which starts in March next year, this is just a rough course plan. There is movement around these, but we advise students to follow the plan that is provided here. So the students in year 1, trimester 1, which starts in March, next year, it would be the students would do a unit in law, finance, property, introduction to property, and sustainable construction. Trimester 2, year 1, you'll get a flavor of economics, accounting, introduction to property development, and an elective unit. Similarly, I've spelled out all the units that the students would be doing in a straight 3-year degree. Note how there's a trimester 1 and a trimester 2, and in that you take some 4 commerce units, as well as remaining are all property core units. We also have, the students have an option to do 8 elective units. The elective units can be taken from anywhere in the university. You don't have to confine yourself to the Faculty of Business, which is where the property and real estate programs sit. But we usually advise students that you should choose your electives in a way that you can have a particular minor. So if you take a note of this, students can choose to undertake a 4 credit point minor sequence in wealth management, finance, sustainability, global studies, or economics. So these 8 electives can be chosen in a way that students can complete 2 minors. Each minor is 4 electives, 4 credit points. So if the students want to take up, say, 2 minors, one in global studies and one in economics, you can choose the 8 elective units in a way that you have 4 global study units and 4 economics, or you could do 4 wealth management units and 4 finance, any combination. Sometimes students want to do just one minor, and they want the other electives to read or study something from a different faculty, say nutrition, anything that you fancy. It could be arts. But studying a bachelor's of property and real estate with a minor in a particular sequence, say wealth management, adds a lot of value and credibility to your degree. These are the entry requirements that we've penned down on this slide. I've given you entry requirements for school leavers as well as non-year 12 requirements. So if you're currently in year 12 in 2022, or completed year 12 in 2020 or last year in 2021, and have not attempted higher education or wet studies since, your selection will be based on your units 3 and 4 subjects and a study score of at least 25 in English and at least 20 in English other than English as an additional language. And if you are not in, and we use an ATAR for this requirement for year 12 entry, it's an ATAR that would be looked at. If you're a non-year 12 or a non-school year school leaver, then the entry requirements are slightly different, and you can utilize a variety of admission criteria such as a TAFE study, prior university study, and even work experience. So we recommend that applicants provide a CV and a personal statement if you are a non-school leavers. So all applicants must meet a minimum English requirement, and please read about the other ways of satisfying the English language proficiency requirements. If you're applying as an international student, then the entry requirements are slightly different as shown on the screen. We are also running a dedicated applying to Deakin session for our international applicants, which I would highly recommend attending for further information. And for more information, you could please visit this website, International Students Entry Requirements. As I mentioned, we've got, other than the straight degree, we've got 3 double degrees, one with construction management, which is a 5-year degree. It's a unique construction management and property real estate combined course, which is offered only at Deakin University. It's experience hands-on learning through project-based problems and site visits. great lecturers with industry and international experience. It is offered cross-campus between the Burwood and the Geelong Waterfront campus, which with some units are also offered in the online mode. Laws is a 5-year duration, which is a unique combination of laws and real estate. You can, and you also have hands-on learning experience through work integrated learning opportunities at the Deakin Law Clinic. Commerce is a very popular degree. You receive accreditations from the API, RICS, and also from your commerce major as well. So please note that if you're doing a double degree with commerce, it's compulsory to do a major in commerce, and you will also be accredited by that. So if you're doing a marketing major, for instance, you'll be accredited by the Australian Marketing Association in that case. And if you're doing a management major, if you're doing a finance major, if you're doing an accounting major, you'll be accredited by the respective organization of which you're doing the major in. Now, let me take you through Deakin Accelerate. This is a very novel program. So for students, if you are in year 11 at the moment, Deakin Accelerate is a wonderful opportunity for you to get a head start at university by completing 2 or 1 first-year university subjects when you are completing year 12. So some of the benefits that are of Deakin Accelerators, you can choose from over 20 study areas. Property and real estate is one such area. You can boost your ATAR. You can study on campus or online. You can earn a university credit without having to pay. Study for free, ease your transition into the university, and stand out from the crowd. So in the property real estate study area, Introduction to Property and Introduction to Property Development are 2 units that you could study as in the Deakin Accelerated more. So please have a look at Jessica's statement here, who has completed the Deakin 2019 Deakin Accelerated Student in Commerce and Bachelor's of Laws. On this slide, I'll be talking about the different pathways of entering into Deakin University. So if you are directly from school, you apply to Deakin straight away from school. And for some reason, if you do not meet the entry requirements at Deakin University for this course, there's a whole range of pathways that you can choose from. You can apply through TAFE, and other registered providers. You can apply to Deakin through Workforce on the basis of your workforce experience. A number of our students are successful getting into this course using the workforce experience pathway. You can apply to Deakin from Deakin College, example, a Diploma of Commerce, or study same course as a different campus, or transfer from a related course like a Bachelor's of Business into the Property and Real Estate. To find out which pathway is most suitable to you, I suggest visiting our Pathways Finder at this web link, where you can personalize the options based on your specific situation. So I highly recommend that. If you cannot, for some reason, you cannot apply straight away into the university, into this course through school. Work integrated, we offer a number of work integrated learning opportunities at Deakin universities. In other words, these are internship opportunities whilst you are studying at the university. The real estate internships, for example, Metro Property Management, Option Property Management, we've got a number of students who do internships whilst they are studying here. We also have consultancy experiences with the Deakin Freelancing Hub and Business Development Clinic. There's also options of doing entrepreneurship experience as work integrated learning units embedded inside your curriculum. Our students can go into a number of fields having completed the bachelor's of property and real estate. Some of the career opportunities or the most common career opportunities for our students are asset manager, land economist, owner corp managers, facility managers, portfolio managers, advisors, developers, and property valuer. I've written it as the last one, but this is our most popular employment outcome. Most of our students somehow like to go into property valuation. Property developer, facilities managers, owners corp, asset managers are again very popular employment outcomes for our students. The list goes on, but I've tried to list a few on the slide where our graduates going now. Knight Frank, Colliers, Development Victoria, WP Group, many owners corp organizations, Motor Property, CBRE. It's a very big employer for our students, and even managers, facilities managers at various universities where you'd see our students going and our graduates going. Other than the undergraduate programs, we also offer graduate diploma of property. This is a one-year full-time study or part-time equivalent. Most of our students are part-time students. It's offered online only. Please note this is recognized and professionally accredited by the API. This accreditation ensures that the course is of the highest quality as is required by the Australian Property Institute. Develops and refines your core professional skills, particularly related to the property development and valuation areas. These are the two areas that the graduate diploma of property focuses on. It is ideal for professionals such as architects, surveyors, construction managers looking to broaden their careers into the built environment. It is also for graduates with degrees in commerce, management, and law disciplines looking into entering the property field. A number of our students who are studying the graduate diploma are also, they've had degrees in commerce and now they want to enter the property and real estate. So this is something if you are interested in, but please note you do need to have an undergraduate degree in one of these disciplines to be able to enroll in a graduate diploma. And I've put the minimum criteria here. Bachelor's degree in a different discipline. So if you have a bachelor's degree in property discipline, then this course is not suitable for you, or you need a 2 years relevant work experience. This is the course map. There are 8 units to complete the graduate diploma, but you may do 4 units and exit the program with the graduate certificate of property. If you were to do all the 8 units, then you graduate with a graduate diploma of property. Deakin University offers opportunities for students to travel the world. We've got more than 200 partner universities around the world and study overseas. The Deakin University offers students a study overseas for a couple of weeks each trimester or in a year and receive a credit towards a unit. We were closed, obviously, because of COVID outbreak in 2020 and 21. But in 2022, Deakin Abroad, which is the organizing division for travel as a part and getting a credit towards your university degree, they've started in the second half of 2022, subject to the government and health regulations and any travel restrictions. They are expecting to open the program again after 2 years. And in T3, they are expecting to broaden it to different countries. So if you start in 2023, by the time you come to a unit where you can do a Deakin Abroad unit, it will be probably 2024 or 2025. We hope that the travel restrictions are over and COVID is sort of settled and gone, and you'll be able to experience studying in a different country or at a different university within the nation. There's a lot of support available for our students at Deakin. There's a scholarship. You may be able to find a scholarship that works for you, whether it's recognition of your academic achievements or a chance to make university a reality. There's a scholarship that can help you find your way to your dream degree. Deakin Talent is our page, a website dedicated for students to explore the broad range of career opportunities available, build your skills and experience, which is valued by the employer, and present yourselves confidently and positively to the employers. So this is universal access for all Deakin students, and their face-to-face workshops, career coaching, professional development programs, which are open to all students through our Deakin Talent website. There's a job board, job and internships board. There's resume, how to make a resume sort of support provided as well, and employer networking events where employers from the Big Four and many other organizations come and talk to the students about what they want to see in a new graduate or in a new person who joins their workforce. And there are also workshops where there are career coaching, one-to-one career coaching facilities and opportunities available. How to apply? For school leavers, the applications for trimester 1 2023 can be made directly through VTAC, and these applications are made online at this website, which is the VTAC website. And for non-school leavers, please note the applications. There's a mid-year entry as well as a trimester 3, which starts in November. That entries, those applications are now open. For March intake 2023, the applications will open when the VTAC opens in August 2022. Please, you could also apply directly to Deakin for the second and the third trimester this year entry. If you have any questions, this is the dedicated website where you may call or you can email to ask any questions. If you're joining us as an international student, then international study experts are available all day today via web chat and by clicking on the icon on the bottom right hand corner of your screen. You can also watch the information sessions to learn the following information sessions to learn more about joining the Deakin community. So please note that there are more information sessions for international students. Just concluding, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. Please stay back and join the live question and answer session, which is up next, to get your questions answered. Explore the resources on the page and also the virtual Open Day website. Chat to our experts through the web chat available anytime throughout the day. And this year, after 2 years, we are delighted to offer our actual open day on campus in August at all our campuses to experience our facilities and soak up the campus vibe and talk to experts. So don't miss your chance to get further course information and career information in campus and tour our beautiful campuses at the Burwood and the Geelong Waterfront campus in August. I really hope you found this session useful and valuable and that you've enjoyed your open day experience. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the Property and Real Estate live question and answer session. I'm Amita. I'm the course director of Property and Real Estate programs at Deakin University. And I'm joined today with our presenters, Tom Keel, who's the lecturer in property programs, Bradley, who's a degree in property, real estate, and commerce. Brad, do you want to just wave to the audience, please? And Adrian from the Work Integrated Learning team. Hi, Adrian. We're thrilled to have all of you here to explore our property and real estate programs. You may have tuned in earlier to listen to our information session and are joining for some follow-up questions. Or perhaps you just want to know a bit about our property and real estate programs. So if you have questions, please, you could type them in the question and answer session in the panel on the page, and we'll try to provide as many answers as we can. You'll sometimes get a verbal response, and sometimes our expert team and in the back end would be chatting to you via typing answers to your questions. We have about 30 minutes to answer any questions. So let me begin with the first question from Sylvia here. What is the employment rate of this course after uni? And is it easy to get a job? Sylvia, that's a very important question and a brilliant one too. We have very high employment rate, more than 95%. In fact, you'll be delighted to know that most of our students, whilst they are studying, they get some sort of jobs, internships, part-time jobs. And we have a very dedicated job board, an online hub where employers approach us with all sorts of internships and other opportunities. And I also see that our team has already answered it at the back end. So I'll take the next question and probably get Tom to answer the question on what sorts of career does this course lead to, Tom? And will it equip you with the skills to become a land developer, commercial, and retail developer, and an investor?
Thank you, Amita, and welcome to the discussion. Yeah, so it's a good question, what sort of careers, because there are so many different careers and jobs that you can do as a result of studying property and real estate. With regards to some of the more popular and common ones, it's property valuation, which is one of the ones that many of our students wish to do, and that varies from residential property valuation all the way through to commercial, agricultural, industrial. So it can be a very varied career. Property development is another one where you'll gain a lot of skills to become a property developer and do live exercises in that during the course. There are about 70 or 100 other different careers that you can do from this course as well, through property management, property analysis, all sorts of management. So in terms of management, I mean asset management, whereby you might get a portfolio from a bank for, say, $500 million of property, and your job would be to do that. So there's just an endless amount. Anything that's connected to property pretty much can be done from doing this course. In some instances, there's a few add-ons you might need to do. So for example, one of the questions was asking about being a regular real estate agent, and you would gain many skills from this course to do that. But there is an add-on there where you would need to go to the Victorian or New South Wales Real Estate Institute and do a couple of extra weeks study there as well. With regards to further extensions, if you add the construction element to this unit, to this course, then of course it opens up another whole series of careers where you can be involved in not just existing property, but in the construction and building of new property as well. So for the person who wrote this question, if you had something in mind, a specific role that you'd like us to check for you, you're welcome to ask that and we can check that for you as well.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. That's very well answered. I hope that answers the question to Sylvia, who posed the question. I might add here that our double degree with construction management is another very popular degree, which gives you both the skills of the property side and the construction side, which has a lot of synergies together. Adrian, there's a question that I might hand over to you, which is on internships in property development. Could you please take that? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for dialing in today. So, look, I have the pleasure of working in a team that really develops a lot of internships if you're choosing Deakin. In particular, we have these experiences that are available to students generally once they're established and towards the end of their degree. And we have some incredible partners, whether you want to do the investment side of real estate, development, evaluation, or market analysis, or whatever it may be. So, some of our partners, we've got Ray White, Little Real Estate, Harcourts, and then some are also the commercial property firms like Colliers and CBRE. So definitely our team has the I guess the honor of developing these experiences and offering it to students, which I'm incredibly passionate about. So there will be a range of experiences that you can do when you're towards the end of your degree. We've also got some international programs as well. So there's an opportunity to also do internships overseas. And then we've also got some probably more entry-level internships where we can do things like consultancy clinics. So you might work with a group of students. If you're not quite ready to take that step and work at an organisation, you can work at Deakin in a group of students tackling a real business problem with one of our partners, whatever the area that you're working in. So
Thanks, Adrian.
no problems.
There's a question from Sylvia again. How do I become a certified practicing valuer? Sylvia, this is a question that we are asked almost all the time, and this is the one which is very relevant for our students as well. The course that we have, the Bachelor's on Property and Real Estate, the course gives you the academic qualifications needed to be a CPV. But you also need to work for 2 years as an assistant valuer. So essentially shadow a CPV in any firm for 2 years. After that, you've got to write 3 valuation reports, 3 different types: residential, commercial, industrial, rural, 3 different types of reports, and take about 20 online modules that the API offers. After all that, you've got to face an interview with a panel from the API. After you've cleared these 3 or 4 things, then you are a CPV. So yes, our course gives you the academic requirements. You complete the academic requirements, but after that, it takes a couple of years and a little bit more to finish those modules and an interview, and then you are a CPV. So you are at the right place. Our courses are certified by RICS and the API. And that also answers the next question that I can see from Jess. What are the accreditations available from this course? So our course has the highest level of accreditation by 2 premier bodies. One is the Australian Property Institute, which is the premier body in Australia, as well as the UK-based body, the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. So yes, our courses have the highest level of accreditation.
Amita, can I add one comment?
Yes, please.
Sure. Just what I'd like to make known as well is that the wonderful thing about property is no matter what you start doing when you graduate and working in property, is there is endless opportunities for change, because a lot of the skills and the education can move across different areas. So for example, we might have a student who graduates and is keen to do property valuation, and they go on and become a CPV, a certified valuer, but then they may discover they prefer development. So all of the information that they have, or the knowledge and their skills from being a valuer, are also of great use in property development, because, for example, when they go off to find their first site to develop, they're very good at understanding not just valuation, but the whole matrix around time value of money, funding, investment, and those different things. So it's possible to have a career across many, many different parts of property. And that's one of the reasons why it's so interesting. And so, for example, with myself, I'm not just working at Deakin, but also do property developments, and the skills, cross over between both. And over different years, you can just do so many different things and just keep building your knowledge base and your experience, and also your enjoyment as well.
Thanks, Tom. And that, I think, saying that you've answered the next question that is from Yad, what are the exciting job students can end up in? And is project manager one of them? So we pretty much answered that there are a whole lot of jobs. Most of our students would want to go into valuation for some reason. And it's also worth noting here that there's an acute shortage of valuers. We get emails and jobs from valuation firms all the time that they need more students. So valuation is one, property development area is another one, property management is another one, sustainability consultants, because we've got a whole lot of minors that students can choose from. and sustainability is one of the minors that is one of the most popular minors. So having done that sustainability minor, you are also equipped with the skills to work as a sustainability consultant, which is becoming extremely popular in every firm these days. Sustainability is the buzzword. Tom, would you like to take that question? Is project manager one of the job opportunities for students?
Yes, project manager is. There are different types of project managers. It depends on the scale and the industry that you're in. But for example, if you did the double degree of construction, then you could take on enormous projects, such as managing the building of a construction of a 200-story building. But on a different level, project manager can be things like turning a property company to be a more sustainable one, or it could be a project where you are basically set out to go and find the next 10 best sites for development. So project manager being broad, we cover across all the units of the course, you would cover skills and knowledge in there that would allow you to do many types of project management. If you're looking at doing project management in its pure form for what we would assume is property development, then yes, you would definitely be able to do project management from studying the property and real estate degree.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. There's a question from Jess. For cloud-based students, can we access the Deakin campus? So it's an interesting question, Jess. We pride ourselves on our cloud campus as well as on on-campus study. The lecture material, the seminar material, essentially the teaching material is same for any campus. You can join the course either as a cloud student or as an on-campus student like Brad here. Yes, you are welcome to attend the Deakin campus. I'm sure we would be delighted to see you. But if the question is based around the teaching material, there is absolutely no difference in the teaching materials available to a cloud student vis-a-vis an on-campus student. Brad, I'd like you to jump in here, please, if you'd like to add something. I know you are an on-campus student, but you'll have friends who are studying in the cloud mode. Would you like to comment on this question?
Yeah, so I think with the studying on the cloud mode, you're always going to have, I guess, the same resources that we do have on campus. But I know, especially personally, that sometimes studying at home can be a bit harder. So coming in and using the study spaces at the Deakin University, no matter what sort of the campus, or even just coming in to sort of study with other people studying the course as well, you'll have that opportunity to come into campus. And I think that will, number one, help you enjoy your course a lot more, but it'll help you learn and go through that process a bit better.
Thanks, Bradley. There's a question from Sarah. What assignments, assessments do students do in their course that's practical and industry linked? Brad, what I'll do is I'll get you to talk to Sarah about this question on the units that you are doing in the sort of assignments which are industry based and which have a practical tune to them. And Tom, maybe you can jump in and talk about some property development assignments that you're doing with students, please.
Yeah, perfect. So I think a lot of the assignments we do are really practical in the way that it's not just writing something up, doing it by yourself and just researching theory-based questions. A lot of the time it'll go through, and I've had assignments where we do group assignments. And number one, we're going and we're working with other people. So as you would in a real life sort of situation. But also I have had an assignment this trimester we've gone through and we've advised a theoretical person on, cool, should you go buy or rent a property, why, and go through all the little different things about which one would be better in his given circumstances. And then we actually made a video on it. So as if we were really speaking to him and advising him that way. So it got that practical sort of basis there.
Thanks, Bradley. Tom?
Yes, well, for the property development assignments, we do 2 units. One is Introduction to Property Development and one is an advanced version. So for an example of an advanced version, that would be in year 3, we ask students to go and find a site that's ripe for development, one that's either vacant or a bit underdeveloped. and then they propose their own plans for it. For example, they might take a site that's 30 kilometres out of, away from a CBD, and decide the best use of that site is 300 townhouses. So they would then begin the process of analysing the site in terms of the legalities. They would come up with their own highest and best use proposal for it. They would justify that through the financials. They would do marketing, some design work. And in the end, they come up with a fantastic project where they could present it to an owner or a developer and say, here's the workings of a new project. This is what it's going to look like. These are its sustainability ratings, and you're going to make yourself $100 million. So it's a wonderful real world thing. We have had, actually, interestingly, in some of our post-grad courses where they do a similar unit, where those students are often, working already. Some of them have gone ahead with what they've done in their assignments, bought the land and developed them. So it doesn't get much more real world than that. And it's really exciting for students to utilize so many skills across finance, development, design, sustainability, and then just to see how much profit they can make as well. So really enjoyable, and students often will change their thinking about what they want to do from having done those assignments and go off and do some developments.
Brilliant. Thank you, Tom. And there's a question from Andy. What's the difference between construction management course and commerce/property and real estate course? I might take this question, and Tom, please jump in if you've got stuff to add. So Deakin offers a straight bachelor's in property and real estate, and 3 double degrees or dual degrees along with property and real estate. So the 3 dual degrees we have is, one is with bachelor's of property and real estate and laws, bachelor's of property and real estate with commerce, and the 3rd dual degree that we have is bachelor's of property and real estate with construction management. So Andy, these are 2 different courses that we are talking about here. If you're studying a commerce with property and real estate, you're studying a bachelor's of commerce and a bachelor's of property and real estate, together 2 degrees in 4 years. If you're studying bachelor's of property and real estate and bachelor's of construction management honors, it's an honors course, you complete the 2 degrees in 5 years. So obviously you get 2 different skills. Construction management gives you the construction management skills along with property and real estate. And the other degree, which Bradley, our student, is doing, is the commerce, bachelor's of property and real estate and bachelor's of commerce, which gives you the commerce experience, the accounting, economics, finance sort of experience. And you've got a choice of majoring in one of the units there. I hope that answers that question. Tom, did you have anything to add?
Yes. So with the construction management, some of the things you would study there, for example, are materials. And it might sound a little bit simple just saying materials, but it's actually a key component of it because there's so many different things to consider about procurement. We've heard about China's supply chain issues at the moment and things. So there's a lot there. There's also a little bit of engineering in there to understand about load forces on buildings. There's a lot to do with management because you're managing big projects and a lot of people. They talk on all different aspects of the actual process of construction. And then they do a lot of things around legalities and safety as well. So it really covers many, many units, and you become actually pretty much able to do anything once you finish that double degree after those 5 years of study.
Yeah, it's a very strong degree. Thanks, Tom. It's our newest degree. We started that in 2016, and it's become a very popular degree because it's a niche that Deakin has in property and construction management together. We're coming to the end of our live Q&A, so we'll have a time for just a few more questions. I can see one question from Yad. How many hours of study are required each week? So that's a very important question as well, Yad. For every unit, we have pretty much 3 hours of contact with the lecturer. So 2 hours of lectures or classes and 1 hour of seminars. Plus, we recommend that it requires about 7 hours of study in your own time. So 10 hours per unit. The students have a choice to study full-time, which is 4 units per semester, or part-time, which could be 1, 2, or 3 units. So yes, if you're studying full-time, 4 units per trimester, it's 40 hours, which is pretty much a full-time job. So this is the study requirement.
Yeah, I think one thing to add to that as well is where it'll be about 10 hours sort of a week on average. There'll be some weeks where you may not have any sort of assessments due, and sort of you're going through the content quite well, and maybe you only have to do sort of an extra sort of 3 hours of study. But sometimes you may have an assessment due and you're really putting a lot of more time into that. Maybe it'll be an extra sort of 3 or 4 hours there. So it sort of averages out to that 10, but it's not going to be, I guess, a stringent sort of do 10 hours of this unit every week. It'll be a bit more flexible than that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brett.
There's one more question, which is around external links that our programs have. So I'm really proud to say here that we've got a very strong network of industry folks via our advisory board that we meet twice in a year, and they guide us on our programs. So those are the people who know the market, who know the needs of the industry, and they tell us and update us on how we should modify our courses and what sort of skills the students need to enter into the job market easily. So we also have a very strong presence of guest speakers throughout our units. So all our units, we have guest speakers who have expertise in a certain area, and they come and talk to us. For instance, in my unit, property economics, that Bradley is doing with me, we had the chief economist of Knight Frank come and talk to us about livable cities and bid to rent, which is a very new thing that's coming up in Australia, and particularly Melbourne is #1 in bid to rent. So to answer that question about industry engagement and the relevance of our programs, we're not just, we are guided by the industry all the time. We've got a very strong advisory board. We've got our 2 accrediting bodies that look at every exam, every assignment, every unit that we have, and they guide us and tell us that this is how we should modify our programs to suit the needs of the job market more. There's a question.
Amita, I might just add to that as well. In terms of our industry engagement, you know, we have a lot of engagement with when students are doing internships as well. So that's a chance for you to engage with those partners on a more of a deeper level. And whether that's, you know, you're doing 1 day a week with the industry partner, you're going into the office. We also have online internships as well. So again, engaging directly with that partner about various aspects of their business. So I thought I might just add in that.
Absolutely, Adrian. Thank you. Thank you. I can see one more question from Yad, actually 2 questions from Yad about graduate certificate. So, and this is related to the study load as well, that is it the same sort of study load? Yes, it will be very much the same sort of study load for any unit, either it's a graduate certificate or master's or bachelor's. It will be about 10 hours per unit. And there's a follow-up question that Yad is hoping to do a grad cert whilst working full-time. Can I watch lectures at my own time and work around my work schedule? Absolutely, yeah. And that's the brilliancy of our programs, that all lecture recordings and seminar recordings are available on our magnificent cloud site. In fact, Deakin has ranked #1 in student satisfaction for many years in a row. So yes, all our resources are available and you can study in your own time. There will be time, as Bradley said, when you have got assignments due, it can become a bit more hectic during that time, especially if you have a full-time job. But yes, you have the full flexibility to do it, to listen to the lectures in your own time and to listen to the seminar recordings in your own time and work around your work schedule. Are there any more questions? I'm sorry, I'm not able
I think one thing to add to that as well is it's not just watching when you've got I miss a class or something like that where you can watch the lecture. It's also if maybe you've gone through, you've watched the lecture and you haven't sort of understood the first time you've been told, but sort of things start connecting at the end. Maybe you go back and you'll rewatch that start of it and go through the content that way. As I guess a more flexible way of learning.
Thanks, Brad. That was really important. There's a question that I might direct to you, Bradley, again. Could you tell the listeners the student life here? What sort of support is available to students? So you might be the best person to answer that question.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of different programs that run, I guess, whether it's mentoring for like student support. So like we've got writing mentors and maths mentors you can go through if there's units where you've got to sort of write an essay and they'll help you sort of structure it and go through it that way. We've got sort of with your maths mentors, if there's a bit of maths going through and they'll help you that way. We also run, I guess, a lot of past sessions. So they're sessions that'll be from previous students that have done quite well, and they will sort of run a seminar during the week, and they will, I guess, teach the content that's specific to the questions you have. So it won't always match up with, I guess, the week-to-week content if everyone's sort of getting through that content quite well. Sometimes they may spend a couple of weeks on things that you're sort of maybe struggling a bit more on, and it's a great way to, I guess, learn the content from a different perspective as well.
Thanks, Brad. There's time for one last question, which is from Isaac. What majors do you offer in the 4-year commerce degree with property? So Bradley, you're doing an economics major, is that right?
Yeah, I'm majoring in economics.
And there's a choice of accounting, management, marketing, any major. We've got human resources. That I think you can do one major in a 4-year commerce and property degree. And there's a choice of about 7, 8, 9 majors. So the most popular ones are finance, financial planning, economics, accounting, management. Management has a whole lot of different majors: human resources, sports management, and the like. Marketing major as well. So yeah, these are the different types of majors that you could do in a 4-year dual degree. So I think it's almost 10 o'clock, and I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. It was really great to have so many very important questions, all rounded from all spheres about the student life, about the accreditation, about the course structure, the study requirements. If there are any further questions that we have not responded to, please put them in the chat, and our all-day web chat team will respond to your questions. And also, I'm delighted to say after 2 years, our on-campus open day is back in August. So don't miss your chance to ask any further questions by coming to our campus and seeing us in our booth on property and real estate in August. I hope you found this session useful and enjoyable. Thank you for your time, and we hope to see you at Deakin very soon.